Come, hold my hand. Let's go on an adventure. Hey, welcome to Momatic Adventures. I'm your host, Effie McMorris, and today I am going to share with you a little about our diaper journey for anybody who travels with a child or honestly just knows a child or has heard of a child. Diapers kind of come with the territory. There are a lot of different methods. So one of the things that Ryan and I decided pretty early on in our parenting journey was diapers. It's something that we have had a little bit of experience with because a friend of ours raised her daughter on cloth diapers. And so there was this exposure to that option that I think a lot of people don't necessarily get, just because, especially in the US, like disposable diapers are par for the course. Even with all of our like thoughts, plans, and outspokenness about the fact that we were going to do cloth diapers as gifts, initially we received a lot of disposable diapers. Okay, so one of the things I am going to have to learn to do after this episode is edit, because Tilly just lost her shit. We transitioned from a place in New Jersey just yesterday to Richmond, Virginia today. Well, technically we did it all yesterday, but today's our first day here in this spot that we're in. And we went from a house with like a massive yard to in a building with, other dogs really close by. And Tilly is having a little confusion adjusting, or just like, I don't know. She's just adjusting. And so, anyway, back to regularly scheduled programming. Ryan and I, despite how vocal and adamant we were about choosing and wanting to do cloth diapers, we still received like an excessive amount of, or at the time, what we thought was an excessive amount, like boxes of disposable diapers. And we were like, we have told everybody that we are not doing disposable diapers. Like, why did we get these? And honestly, thank goodness that we did. I don't think we paid for a disposable diaper until about 6 months ago. So like once Poppy maybe turned 1, just because we had been gifted so many, which was lovely. But diapers were and are something that genuinely affects our movement and how our day goes. Because we are on cloth diapers, we have to change them more frequently because she can feel that she's wet. Unlike with disposable diapers, she is very aware of the fact that she's wet and she gets uncomfortable. And especially when we're in the car, like sitting in a wet diaper can't possibly feel good. That is certainly something that we have to kind of take into consideration, especially during long drives. And then additionally, washing them, because we have to be able to wash them now we're in a place where we're much more confident, but when we first started, we were washing diapers every other day. So with laundry thrown into that, Ryan is amazing. He is the laundry person. Like, I am not in charge of laundry solely because I'm not great in doing things that I can't find value in just because they are like attributed to some sort of value. So like, I don't care if my black t-shirt kind of looks like bluish gray. I think there's like something to having an item that has wear and tear and agedness on it. So I am like whatever about it. But because of that also, like holes happen, things definitely get dingy. And if you listen to our episode about stuff, you'll hear that like Ryan and I are very different people when it comes to our clothing. I am like use it until it serves its purpose. I love my pieces that are like for life pieces, or pieces that I just like always feel confident in, and fluctuate with my body, where he is like, I've had these same jeans for 20 years. Like, we literally were just with a friend of his from high school, and they were talking about a party he was at where he was walking around in these white pants, like all like, look at me in my white pants, and some girl threw up on his pants, and he like audibly was like, oh, my pants. And 20 years later, he's still wearing those like vomited on pants because he takes care of them, because he like, and honestly, a trait that like, it's so great that he has, because it's something that I am not good at. So he does the diapers. And so he is like a whiz at the diapers now, which is so lovely. But we have had to make do with some really weird and different sort of options. When we first started, we had like little to no experience, except for the witnessing of a friend who utilized cloth diapers, and she did use a totally different like brand and type than we chose to use. She also diapered maybe 5 years before we were even looking into it. Like the end of her journey was like 5 years ago, when ours had just started maybe a year ago or so. So there was like still such a like difference from where she left off to like where we started. But we went with a brand called Assembly. This break has been brought to you by Diet Coke, because sometimes Effie just needs a break so she can drink some Diet Coke in peace, please, for 2 seconds. So the brand we went with was Assembly. You can find them, just like go on the internet. I'm pretty sure they're European, but I can't say for certain. I was lucky enough to be gifted prior to giving birth, basically our entire like initial cloth diaper kit. So we purchased, with funds that they had gifted us. I think it was 15 size 1s and 15 size 2 like inners. And then we ordered a couple outers in each size, which I will say now was probably a mistake. I just purchased my sister's like initial setup kit, and I made some different choices when I did that, because we found that like having size 2 and the space size 2 took up was unnecessary. So size 1 starts, I believe it starts at about 7 pounds. So Poppy was born at 6'9". So we were not even able to use the cloth diapers initially, but I am very glad that we didn't, and I will tell you a bit about that later on. But so size 1 fits 7 to I think 17 pounds, which is pretty big. They have like 4 rows of buttons, I think on each side, I think it's 4. I literally can go look at them, but I think it's 4. And then there's 2 layers of diapers. There's like an inner layer and there's an outer layer. The outer layer is essentially a swim diaper. It is made of like water wicking material. So while it's not like fully, completely waterproof, if you do not change the baby's diaper for a really, 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 really long time, and the inner is so unbelievably soaked, the outer can also become wet. But I will say, I have also taken Poppy into the pool wearing just that outer, and it totally works as an outer. It holds in everything should she go to the bathroom, but she hasn't the many times I've been in the pool with her. But and then size 2 starts at like 18 pounds until I think about 36 or 38 maybe. There's a little bit more space on the bigger ones, but it's the exact same setup, and they are buttons. So they're not like buttons that go through a slit. They're like click buttons. I probably should have looked up what the term is for what those are, but they literally snap and you squeeze them and they click together. So, she is now 16 months old and she can't get out of them. So I know my mom has told me stories about when I was a child. She would put diapers on forward, backwards, then put tape around them, and then put onesies on backwards and like socks over the onesie feet. And I still somehow would manage to get my diapers off in the middle of the night. We have absolutely never had that issue. And now I don't know if that's just because I really enjoy being naked or if disposable diapers are just easier to get off. But she's never, ever had an issue with that. So 2 sizes. And then essentially 2 pieces that you need every day. There are definitely additional accessories, but initially all you need is an inner and an outer. The inner is made of just regular cotton cloth. It is it almost has what a panty liner looks like in the middle, and then just a regular diaper shape on the rest of it. But each layer that it's made of 2 thin layers of cotton, and then those are double-sided. So it's thick, but also light, which is great for when Poppy's walking around in it and it gets a little wet, that it doesn't become massively heavy. Additionally, it layers the urination. So we can usually do 2 pees in the diaper before we need to change it, because it kind of goes down to those bottom layers. And then because there's air between each layer, it dries. So she stays dry longer and it means less wet on her genital areas. So I think overall beneficial to the baby's areas. And then that's the inners. And then initially, if you're hey, I want to start trying cloth diapers, but I don't want to spend a ton of money, literally you can buy a set of 3 inners and 1 outer. And that would be enough if you're not planning on doing it for every day. You just kind of want to try it in the afternoon. You're trying to encourage them using the restroom. One of the things that is beneficial about the cloth diapers is because they can feel that they're wet. She's able to sign and tell us that she's wet and that she needs to have her diaper changed. I will say that now we're in a stage where she'd rather play than get her diaper changed, so she won't tell us. And I will also say there's something about disposable diapers. I think that there's this almost perfume smell to cover up the smell of urination. And I don't really know what the odor is specifically, but there's a smell that when a disposable diaper gets wet, it eliminates a smell that you can literally just lift a child up to your nose and smell through the pants, oh, that's a wet diaper. I can't do that with her diapers. Unless she has a really, really, really stinky poop, I literally can't smell it. And I have a really sensitive nose, so there have most certainly been times that she's eaten a ton of asparagus or something and her pee has smelled so rank. But for the most part, because there's not that chemical to offset, there just really isn't much of an odor. So I do wind up having to kind of stick my finger in there and remove the outer so that I can touch the inner, and I'm touching the outermost inner. Yeah, the outermost part of the inner. It's not touching maybe her genitals, but touching the outside of the diaper to feel if it's wet or not. Because if it's wet, then we change it. And then the other really cool thing that I think Assembly has done is they've added a lot of accessories and things to make cloth diapers easier. Thing one that they've added is liners, and they are cloth liners, but you can remove them from the inner. So they don't attach to the inner. They're literally almost like a rag, like a rectangle rag that you lay down inside the diaper as you put it on. And and a lot of people have questions about this. So like if your child poops in the diaper, everyone's like, well, then what do you do with the poop? Does the poop just go into your washer machine? And like to an extent, sometimes yes. But for the most part, we take that liner or we take the inner of the diaper and we dump the poop in the toilet before we wash them. Or if we're changing her at a place or whatever, we're able to, like, the liner makes it a lot easier to take and dump. So you're not carrying this whole outer to a toilet and like dumping it, or this whole inner diaper like setup. You're able to kind of just take this like little rag, dump the poop in the toilet and be done with it. So that's a great, I love the liner. It also adds like an extra layer. So we've used it like, okay, we're on a longer car ride. We know she's going to nap for maybe 2 or 3 hours. So we're going to give her a liner to get an extra like urination out of that diaper changing. And then there are overnight pads, which essentially look like what you would have if you had cloth period pads. They are like a thicker, multi like level. I don't even know what is inside them. But like all these different cottons, and I think they use like diapers that have been recycled. They like use that fabric to like shove in there or something, but they are like crazy absorbent. So the overnights can go on essentially for what they're for, which is an overnight sleeping time frame. And I will say overnight means to some people one thing and other people another thing. Overnight in terms of cloth diapers, I believe you're going to get like at max 8 hours. And I mean like that is really letting your kid sit in a wet diaper, which like I do not recommend. I think more realistically, we get maybe 5 to 6 hours out of an overnight, which we were fully nursing in the beginning, especially. And so like her overnight, like she would wake up more often. She had a tongue tie in the beginning. And so there were a lot of things that caused us to need to wake up every couple hours and do the feeding and the changing and the putting back to bed process. So, 5 hours was like more than enough. But when she got to a point where we were looking at like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 hours of sleep, sometimes 12, 13, even if we're lucky. On days like that, we found that we could use a disposable diaper and she wouldn't feel that like wet sensation and she'd be able to sleep longer. So now at about 16 months, we maybe started doing it when she was about 8 or 9 months. A good friend had recommended it to us and basically was just like, this is when we use disposables. It helps at night. So we started doing that and we would put a disposable on her, and we found that like, I don't know if it was like the diapers we bought or rather like the diapers that we had, because at that point I don't think we had bought any yet, or if it was like the size or truthfully, I'm really not sure what it was, but we had a lot of issues with like leakage, and we'd put, the disposable on her at night, and then we'd wake up in the morning and her like sleep sack would be wet or her bed would be wet, and maybe not like badly wet to the point where again, it would really affect her because, again, with the cloth diapers, she is used to a little bit of chill or wetness when she urinates as it's drying. So I think like it wouldn't be enough to wake her up and bother her, but it was enough that like we noticed when we were changing her in the morning. One of the things that I don't remember if someone had recommended it or if we kind of just thought like, oh, let's try this. But we started putting the outer on over the disposable diaper. So at night when we're getting ready for bed, she gets, after a shower, we do lotion and we do her teeth and we do her hair, even though she's got like almost no hair. We brush her hair and we do blow drying and really we go through like every step that a normal person would go through. And I say normal, but that like a typical person is going to go through in their day, and how to care for themselves. And we do all those steps. And so she brushes her teeth, she brushes her hair. When we do the bath, we really try and encourage her to do the scrubbing. And like, we usually will have to go in there and do like a second, like, oh, let's make sure we get those back teeth or those back gums, or, she didn't get between her toes and she was playing. But I know that our goal is to teach her to be as self-sufficient as she possibly can. And that is like the best way we can do that is let her practice and let her do it. And I think the hardest part of that is like the length of time it takes. So like our nightly routine can take an hour sometimes, but she's learning every day. And from the first time we brushed her teeth to like now, she essentially can kind of do it all on her own. I encourage you to let your kid try and do it themselves and all of that. But anyway, so nighttime routine we do after we do hands, face, and teeth. She gets lotion, and then we put a disposable diaper on her, and then out on the outside of the disposable diaper we then put that outer on, so like that swim diaper, which also like I think the elastic of it also gives her a sense of like, oh yeah, this is what my diaper feels like all day. And then pajamas, and then we have a sleep sack that we love that was gifted to us by Ryan's cousin, my cousin now, lucky me, who I believe was at like a, like Maker's Market and purchased the sleep sack for Poppy when she was first born. And for literally 16 months, she has been wearing it almost every night to sleep. We did purchase a second one from DIAPER, actually, I believe. If you check out our Patreon, patreon.com/Momatic Adventures, there is a whole here where you can find out all of the items that we use, things that make it easier when we are traveling, things that help her sleep, and all that stuff. So definitely take a look at that if you are interested. So we put her to bed. She wears all of that fun stuff. We have a bunch of accoutrements that she gets to use at night. We have like a sound machine. We have like a heart monitor machine, her, night light, not even night light thing, but camera is what I was trying to say, because it can do like night vision. That's her setup at night. But then, first thing in the morning, usually she will wake up and she will typically have her first, like, if not only, but definitely her first bowel movement of the day is usually in the morning when she's like waking up. And that is great for me because Ryan usually wakes up with her. So he usually has to deal with poopy diapers, but it's been really great because she does it in the disposable. So that is helpful for our cloth diapers, just a little less yuck on them. And now I am going to talk about the yuck. So we're going to talk about the C word or the P word or the S word. We're going to talk poop. We're going to talk shit. We're going to talk caca. We're going to talk diarrhea. We are going to talk sick shit, literally. And this thing that babies have that I should probably look up the name of right now, but I'm not going to. They have this like black tarry shit that comes out of them in the beginning. And it's so fucking gross. And this is why I'm going to tell you, do not use your cloth diapers right away. If you can, if you want to, if you are comfortable doing it, my recommendation is to wait 2 to 4 weeks before you use your cloth diapers. In the beginning, your baby is getting used to nursing or formula or whatever, you are giving them to consume. They are getting rid of a lot of the things that they got from you naturally through being carried. There's just so much that their like inner workings go through that what comes out of them, as natural as it is not natural. It is so gross. It is so beyond gross. And everyone's like, yeah, but it's not as gross as when, or it's like, oh, wait till they start eating like blah, blah. No, it's never been grosser than in the beginning. And everyone's like, there's so many things that people think maybe like there was one that wait till she eats corn, I think was one that I was like, what, why? And the argument was like, it doesn't really break down. So they have like corn kernels in their poop. Okay. Who cares? Like, I will say there has been a few times where the poops were foul and there were some, she had some really like spicy curry, or she's a little sick and it ain't good. It is not good what is coming out of her body. But for the most part, I don't think the cloth diapers and the poop is really that crazy, in my opinion. I think, you drop it in the toilet. Sometimes you have to rinse the diapers off before you throw them in the washer machine. Another great thing that Assembly has made are these little blue spiky balls that kind of look like those things that fall off the tree in the fall. And they are just these little blue balls. And you put them in and they're because they're spiky, they kind of hit the diapers at different angles and they scratch the poop off of the diaper and then help break it down in the washer so it doesn't leave crap everywhere. Not crap, but it just doesn't it just breaks it essentially gets the diapers cleaner. So it breaks the poop up and then just gets that dissolved into the hot water as opposed to getting sucked into the diaper more and more as it soaks in the hot water and whatever. Okay, so we did diapers in the beginning, yuck, poop. So my thought process on the poop is it's gross. It's gross no matter what. It's not fun having to deal with anybody's feces, but you have to really have yourself set up for success. We are a lot better at it now. But, there's also 2 layers to the diaper changing with the cloth diapers. And so because of that, you're taking a little bit longer. I know so many people have been oh, well, with, disposable diapers, I can change them laying down in 2 seconds, or I can change them while they're standing up. And that certainly does make it easier. But I think in the long run for us, we feel that cloth diapers are better environmentally, better for her body, and just are doing our best to make the choices that we think have the least impact negatively. And that is why we're doing our sort of mostly cloth with a couple disposables thrown in there to handhold or to just give us that extra boost of help, because nothing is all or nothing. I learned very early on in pregnancy, or not even in pregnancy, in parenting, that I had a lot of expectations for what type of parent I was going to be. I was going to make these decisions and no one or nothing could make me waver from those. So we were going to be all the way cloth. We were going to be nursing. I wanted to co-sleep. I wanted to have a water birth. I had the expectations and thoughts that I had going into parenting were ludicrous, solely based on the fact that I'm not the type of person who's big on follow through. So typically I'm willing to waver. I'm willing to have a conversation. I'm willing to ebb and flow for the most part. And so I don't know why I went into parenting with this thought process that I was going to become this very rigid person and never change my mind. But I did. And I thought we would never use disposable diapers. And we made this exception in the beginning to do disposable for the first few weeks because of that funky ass shit that they have in the beginning. And it was great. I'm grateful to it because it was nice on our diapers. That stains so bad. So once it's on your diapers, it really is near impossible to get off, which is why I don't recommend doing it. Your diapers for sure will be clean. Stains do not mean that they are unclean. All the diapers have stains on them. But just from that kind of visual aspect, and then just the it's a new item. I mean, I'm sure we all have those things that we get and we take them out of the box and we save the box and we're oh my God, no one touched that because it's brand new. It's you want to keep it as nice and new as long as you can. But they're fucking diapers and they're gonna get shit in. But in the beginning, we were very adamant about I didn't want to get them too dirty. So do what you feel is best for you and your family. I'm just giving my advice and my experience, and it is yours to do with what you want. diaper washing. We have to do it every couple of days. So when we first started, we had 15 inners, so we had 15. So we'd go through maybe almost 10 in a day. And then the next day we'd be like, okay, well, we're like almost out of diapers. And so like Ryan would be doing a load of diapers. And then the next day, we'd be halfway through and be like, okay, well, we have till tomorrow now. And so like literally every other day he was doing a load of diapers. And then every other day or so he was doing laundry. And because Poppy was a newborn, her clothes were washed separately, her diapers were washed separately. And then Ryan and I are doing our clothing. And, we're being really conscious of like what we're washing our clothing with, because we don't want it to like hurt her little baby skin. And, everyone is very adamant about all the different types of detergents, and there are a lot of thoughts and opinions, and you can certainly look to someone else for the thoughts and opinions on that, because I don't know. I think Ryan has done enough research and I trust him. So we get some like up and up brand shit from Target that has like a no rinse layer or whatever and is skin sensitive, and like that's it. But in the beginning we were way more particular about it, and we got like the baby brand ones, and we were very like no chemicals and this and that. So we were doing laundry like literally constantly. So I think it was maybe like month 2 or 3, we're getting ready to get on the road, and we're like, okay, we knew where we were staying for the most part, and most of the places were going to have a washing machine. And so we were like, we're good at these places, but there were a few places that we were not going to be able to do laundry. And so we had to get some more diapers. So we spent all this money on, this kit that's supposed to last her entire diapering life. And we're only able to utilize half of that right now, or at that point. And then we're spending more money, and like, it definitely is something that initially is a large cost. I think it costs us. So, and then I think our first big haul was about $500, and now we're about 3 months out, and we decided to buy some more inners and outers with some gift cards that we had from other people. And we purchased more inners, and I think it brought us up to maybe like 20. And we still were like, okay, like we're doing better, but now we're traveling, and we're like, it's just too close to call. Like it's like there were enough times where if we didn't get to a laundromat like the next day, or to some place that we were staying that had laundry, we were like, shit, we're going to run out of diapers. Like that's it. And we would like put a diaper on her and then be like, okay, like she just can't pee for like 4 hours and then we're good. And like the other thing about the diapers is the washing and drying time takes so incredibly long. The washing takes long because you have to do 2 loads essentially. So you do a quick wash with super hot water. Kills the bacteria. It gets all those shit stains off. You throw those tossers in, and you really just like break down the shit on there. And then you do another wash and you add the like chemicals or whatever. Or it could be opposite. Maybe you add the chemicals in the beginning and then the second one. I'm not sure. You'd have to ask Ryan. And we can find out at a later date if we need to. So maybe I think the first like quick load is like 30 minutes or 25 minutes or something like that. And then the regular load is like 40 minutes. It's an hour. And then typically if you have like a really good dryer, we can get them dried in like an hour and a half. But because they are like, like made to be diapers and wick up water, they like hold water so well. And so like we were like, the dryer, sometimes we'd have to go like 4 or 5 times if we were like at like a shitty laundromat, or there was just too many diapers that load, or like whatever it was. We decided to do another buy, and this time we said, okay, we're going all the way up. So I think we got up to like 28 or 29 size 1 diapers. I don't think we necessarily needed that many. There were a lot of times where like we had like outers that just didn't get used because we typically wouldn't change an outer with every diaper change. It would usually last a day, maybe 2, depending on like what her bathroom situation was like. And so it was too many diapers. We literally bought too many diapers at that point. So now we are on size 2, and we made the choice to do 25 inners, and I think we have 7 outers, and it is the perfect number of diapers. We almost never run out of diapers. It does happen. I will not lie to you guys. Like, we are not perfect. But now I think we can do diapers maybe twice a week. And I think that is like, we're usually pretty good about like, if we do diapers on like Monday, we don't have to do them again until like Saturday, which is great. And like now we're also able to do them usually with like the whites because we all use the same detergent, and they're getting like the same process. The diapers go through that like quick first rinse to get all the like crap and yuck off. But then we throw our whites in, do a regular wash, and they are super duper. Now, we have gotten into pickles, and there are ways to wash the diapers if we are in some type of super emergency situation where we need to wash diapers, but we do not have a washing machine. Options are go to Home Depot and you buy one of those like orange buckets, and you literally cut a hole in the middle and then of like the lid, and you get a plunger. And honestly, you don't even need the plunger. You could really just have it be a stick, and you put hot water in like a tub, and then you add the diapers and the detergent and the tossers or whatever. You put the lid on, you take the stick and you shove it in there, and you mix and you mix and you mix and you mix like you're churning butter, or like you're doing something inappropriate. You're doing something 2 adults can consensually choose. No. So, you're literally sitting there and you're like physically, manually washing these diapers. I have also hand washed the diapers in the sink, taking like detergent and just sitting there and scrubbing them, hot water, like hurting my hands because we need a diaper. We have nothing else on us. And she needs a clean diaper. But now we are a lot more lax. We went to a baseball game. We knew that we were going to be traveling for a long time, and we knew that we were going to be out and about, and it would be a lot easier to utilize disposable diapers. And we made that choice for convenience, for ease, and to like enjoy the day. And part of me thinks like, oh, well, then that means that you don't really care about the environment, or that you're not adamant about not making the impact, or hurting the environment. And like, but I think I need to give myself some lenience, and I think we all need to give ourselves a little lenience in parenting, especially in growing as a parent, as well as being out in the world and adapting. Like, we constantly have to figure it out. We're all just trying to figure it out. And I think like, let's share a little bit more, and hopefully that way we can learn from each other, and we can do our best to make good choices and do what we think works best for our family and for the trail that we want to leave on our journey. So diapers, size 1, size 2, inners, outers, all the little accessories, what type of laundry detergent, washer machines, dryer machines, ways to clean them in case you can't access a washer machine, ways to dry them if you can't access a dryer, sun, clothesline. Like, I don't recommend using a hair dryer, only because typically when you use a hair dryer, a lot of the chemicals you use on your hair get on the hair dryer. You don't want to be putting that onto the diaper that like then is maybe going to touch your kid's genitals. So I just would try to be conscientious of that. But like, realistically, diaper how you need to diaper. But if you want to try cloth diapers and you have any questions, you want to talk about it, please do not hesitate to reach out. You can find me on Instagram at Momatic Adventures. You can email me at effymacmorris@gmail.com. You can find us on Patreon under Momatic Adventures. You also can find some cheat sheets online that I've created that are able to be digitally downloaded. And, I really just want to make cloth diapers a little bit more obvious. No, I want to give people the option. I think we're so quick to see disposable diapers and be like, oh yeah, everybody uses disposable diapers. No big deal. But there are other options out there. People also don't use diapers at all. Some people still use pin and cloth. There are just so many different options out there to help your child with their elimination needs, and you don't have to stick to one, and you can figure out your own journey, but there are just so many options, and I wanted to share a little bit about our journey, and I really hope that you guys will take the time to tune in next week and come hold my hand and let's go on our next journey. Talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks so much for listening to today's episode. If you enjoyed what you heard, please click that follow button. And if you have the time to give us a review, I would so appreciate it. If you know anybody who's interested in travel, parenthood, and chaos, tell them about this show. The more people, the better. And if you'd like to learn more about us, please head to momaticadventures.buzzsprout.com for access to all our information. And I can't wait for next week. Bye.